Okay, so let's get started. Okay, as usual, change surroundings. Make sure nothing is slippery or can trip you, and always always monitor your own condition. Okay, so let's start off marching on the spot. Okay, same reminders. Okay, see if you can make yourself a little bit taller for the spine. Okay, so try to push something up with the top of the head. Okay, try to relax your shoulders so that you can kind of swing your arms through the base of your shoulders. Okay, so you can also slightly rotate your spine. Okay, try to almost push your head back slightly. Okay, so try to have your head right on top of your shoulders. Okay, and just bring your chest bones slightly high up, not too much, slightly high up, so that everything is stacked on top of each other. Okay, and while you're doing this, you'll be able to take a big breath in. Okay, in through the nose, okay, and out through the mouth and the nose, up to you. Okay, and just try to keep this tall position most of the time. Okay, and just keep the deep breathing going on most of the time as well. Okay, so let's move the spine a little bit. Okay, so let's try to look down. Okay, it's the same sequence that we usually do. So looking down, maybe round your back slightly. Okay, and doing the opposite, arching your back. Bring your chest up to the ceiling, shoulders slightly back. Okay, and only move the range of motion you have that is not painful for you. Okay, and a smaller motion first, and bigger motion if it is comfortable for you. Okay, breathing out as you look down, sucking the stomach in slightly. Okay, breathing in as we open up. Try to open up through the fingers, open up through the shoulders as well. Okay, just a couple of times. Okay, and let's try to get back to this tall position. Pulling your shoulders back, pushing your palms out to the side, looking side to side. Okay, opening up the front of the arms. Okay, and just try to look at different directions. Okay, sometimes looking high up, sometimes low down. Okay, but try to press through the hands. Okay, let's side bend the head a little bit. Okay, and let's just move the shoulders up and down. Okay, so try to pull your shoulders away from the ears. Okay, stop your feet if this makes you unsteady. Okay, and same thing on the other side, just whenever you are ready. Okay, so ears up to the ceiling. Okay, and you're pulling your shoulders up and down, mostly focus on reaching downwards while keeping the chest up. Okay, coming back. Okay, let's try to squeeze the shoulders backwards a little bit more. Shoulder blade, elbows. Okay, and then give ourselves a hug. Okay, try to reach, give yourself a deeper hug. Okay, try to open up for the hands, but squeezing the shoulders back. Okay, and then give yourself a deeper hug in the front. Okay, let's move the hands front to back a little bit. So swing, you can just swing a few times first. Okay, next we're going to try to reach upwards a little bit more. So we're going to reach, be just behind the ears first. Okay, if it's not painful for you, see if you can reach behind your head or behind the neck. Slowly see if you can bring your chest up a little higher and get your elbows a little bit higher. Okay, once again, just to our own comfort level. Maybe 3 to 5 times in total. Okay, stretch things out a little bit. Okay, next we're going to try to go backwards a few more times, a little bit more. Okay, so maybe reach back a little further first, keeping our chest up. Okay, be a little more gentle with this one. Okay, if you can, see if you can reach behind your pelvis while keeping your chest up mostly. Okay, and see if you can gently shift your hands a little bit high up. So you're reaching back, okay, and slightly high up. Okay, so be gentle with this one. Okay, just do light effort We don't try too hard. Okay, and we're just going to hold here. Okay, and see if you can just pull our shoulders slightly further back. Kind of puff our chest out, shoulders slightly back. Okay, and deep breath in as we kind of expand the front of the chest a little bit. Okay, still kind of maybe pay attention to our posture. Okay, and coming back out. Okay, and let's just go into a shoulder roll. Okay, slowly exaggerate the circle. So really try to pull up, pull back, pull down, pull forward. Okay, you can incorporate your spine along as well. So you can round your back slightly as you push the shoulders forward. Arch your back as you pull it back. And feel free to change directions at any time. Okay, and shaking it out. Okay, and let's just try to swing our arms a little bit just to the side, keeping our chest up, shoulders relaxed. Okay, shoulders away from the ears. Okay, just moving our arms a couple of times in each direction. Let's do it in front of us. Also keep the shoulders relaxed. Okay, shoulders away from the ears. Just moving the arms. Okay, right, this is my right arm going towards my left. Okay, so reaching inwards to the body. Okay, still shoulders more or less away from the ears. Okay, by squeezing our elbows closer to our chest. Okay, this is my left arm reaching towards my right. Okay, same idea. I'm just trying to bring my elbow close into my chest. Imagine squeezing a balloon into our chest. Okay, let's go upwards. Okay, reaching up. Okay, we spend a little more time here first. Okay, thumbs facing backwards. Okay, once again, see if we can move more from the base. Okay, shoulders still not too tense. Okay, just do our best. Okay, same thing with the other side. Okay, reaching upwards. Okay, try to move from the base of the arm. Okay, so less from the elbows, more from the base of the arm. Okay, let's go into mobile rotation. So put a plate, 2 plates of food on the hands, okay, and you hand it to someone behind you. Okay, you're just going to reach back. Okay, so elbows more or less points forward, but you're trying to hand someone 2 plates behind you. Okay, feeling a little bit of tension in the back of the shoulders. Okay, opening up for the fingers, open up for the hands. Okay, just 3 to 5 times. Okay, we're going to do the opposite. Going to reach into our armpits. Okay, so elbows more or less stays up. We're just going to reach into our armpits. Okay, so this is internal rotation of the shoulders, of the arm. Okay, and let's just kind of bend and extend the elbow, okay, while kind of rotating the arm. You can change directions anytime you want. Still being mindful of our posture, even if you're getting slightly tight. Okay, moving on to the wrist. Okay, move the entire hand with the fingers, draw as big of a circle as you feel comfortable. Okay, and then onto each finger. Okay, pulling our finger towards the back of the hand, or at least more efforts in that direction. It's okay, multiple fingers move. Okay, just make sure the one that you are trying to move is actually moving. And just kind of go through each finger a few times. Okay, and then on to bending the end joints of the fingers, the tips of the fingers. Okay, and shake it out a little bit. Okay, on to more the whole body, lower body. Okay, rotating the entire trunk, rotating the pelvis, rotating your feet, your knees a little bit, moving our feet as well. Okay, you can look side to side, or you can keep looking forward. Up to you which one feels more steady or comfortable. Okay, whole body kind of bends down a little bit. You're just gonna imagine jumping up, reaching up and maybe slightly backwards. Okay, kind of pushing your hips back a little bit, bending your knees a little bit. Even rounding your back slightly if you want to. Okay, and we just try to rotate both arms. So imagine you're doing almost like a very exaggerated backstroke. Okay, rotating your arm and also your trunk and pelvis as well. Okay, more of the hip circles. All right, so try to move the hips now, relaxing the upper body. Let your spine kind of side bend a little bit if you don't have any back issues or osteoporosis. Could be a little more gentle if you do have those things. Okay, on to the hinging movements, bending from the hips. Okay, back straight, knees more or less straight as well. Feeling a stretch behind. Okay, use a chair, use something to support. Okay, but try to push the hips back and your upper body should bend forward as a result of that. Okay, so think of pushing your hips back and less kind of bending downwards. Okay, fronted hips, we can take a step forward and just pushing our pelvis forward while keeping the back leg a little bit straighter. Okay, and just going to slowly move back and forth. Okay, but pull the front of the pelvis up, even be a little bit stuck in your stomach. Back heel can be off the ground. Okay, and just switch sides whenever you're ready. Okay, let's go into a squatting motion. So legs slightly widen hip width. Okay, still bending the hips, still pushing our butt back, but bending the knees a little bit more this time. Okay, so sitting on a tall bar stool. Okay, as you come up, kind of get as tall as you can. Once again, try to push something up on the top of your head as you stand tall. Okay, we'll hang out in that tall squatting position a little bit. We'll do one more rotation. So tall squatting position. Okay, you're just going to reach across the body, look where you want to go. Okay, and open up through the hands. Okay, from the side. Back as tall. Just going to reach towards one side. Okay, my trunk is my pelvis is not really moving. I'm mostly rotating through my upper body. Okay, you can kind of anchor yourself down with the other hand if you want to. Okay, same thing. Other side. Okay, important thing is to keep your spine straight. Okay, otherwise it's very hard to rotate. Okay, and kind of look at where you want to go. Imagine really trying to reach for something, and your body tends to follow along. So you can kind of look at your fingertips. Imagine trying to reach for something in the air, I guess. Okay, and check things out. Okay, a little more side bend. Let's just reach upwards and across. Okay, try to lengthen that side. Try to get your arm a little bit closer to your ears, or one side anyway. As you reach up, opening up the palm. Deep breath in as you reach. Okay, and then both sides up again. Okay, try to open it through the shoulders a little bit more. Okay, try to get your arm to kind of cover up your ears. Okay, let's do the side bend on the side inside the groin area, so feet a little bit wider now. Okay, you're just going to still push the hips back, okay, but bending through one knee. Okay, so hips still goes backwards. Okay, so I'm still pushing my butt back. It still looks like a hinge movement, more or less. Okay, we bend for the hips, okay, and a little bit of the bend in one knee. Okay, feeling a stretch in the, I guess, groin area of the straight leg. The pressure is on my feet is still kind of closer to my heel because I'm still hinging backwards. Okay, bend your knees a little bit more. Okay, try to kick our heel a little bit higher up. Okay, checking our balance a little bit. So feet hip width apart, feet flat on the ground. Okay, we're just going to keep our body in a straight line, and we're just going to lean forward and lean back. Okay, feeling more pressure through my feet on my toes. Okay, and a little more pressure onto my heel. Okay, pretty small movement. Okay, so think Michael Jackson. Okay, but just a few more pressure on your toes. Coming back. Okay, side to side a little bit. Okay, still try to keep my body in a straight line. Feel the weight shifting from one foot to the other. Okay, while keeping the body kind of straight. Okay, and onto a circle, so onto one side, forward, other way, be slightly backwards. Okay, feet still more or less flat on the ground. Okay, so it's a smaller movement. Okay, but you should feel that your toes have to work a little bit harder. Your feet might have to work a little harder to keep ourselves from kind of falling forwards. Okay, and an exaggerated movement, moving from the hips now. Okay, so bend forward, bend backwards maybe even. Okay, and then rocking onto your toes and heels. Okay, a few times side to side. Okay, rocking on our feet. Okay, let's check our balance. Okay, so let's try to stand, grip out the ground of the toes with the foot a little bit. Get the hips stacked on top of the knees and the foot. Okay, and still use something for support if you need to, but see if you can stand a little bit longer on one leg. Okay, and just try to draw as big of a circle as you can with our toes. Okay, and once again, this leg is the one that's working harder to kind of grip the floor. The hip has to work to not let ourselves fall that way. Okay, so kind of pull your hips in, spread your toes, grip the floor of the foot through the toes as well. Okay, and just try to stand a little bit longer on one leg. Okay, and lastly, just move your toes a little bit, scratching the floor, lift the toes up, spread your toes apart if you can. Okay, and shake everything else. Okay, so we actually did a pretty long warm-up today. Okay, so let's go on to our 10-minute aerobic set. Okay, so feel free to take a break at any point. Feel free to slow down or speed up. Okay, drink enough fluid if you've been sweating more. Okay, but let's slowly increase our pace. Okay, still be mindful of our posture, so taller, a little bit wider. Head, shoulder, and hip kind of stacked on top of each other. Okay, but just gradually increasing our pace. Okay, so once again, increase it as you get more comfortable, but go at your own pace. Okay, so let's tap in different directions to start with. Okay, so front, it's going to be just tap the heel in front. Use your arms to counterbalance if you want to. Okay, but just do a little bit of a heel tap. Okay, or you can do a toe tap, up to you. But just kind of tapping forward first and reaching forward. Okay, keeping still a light pace going. Okay, and once again, maybe slowly speeding up if you feel comfortable. Okay, same thing, just tapping to the side. You can reach the same side if you want, or reach the opposite side, doesn't really matter. Okay, just reach out one arm and one leg. Okay, just trying to get our heart rate going a little faster by moving more of our limbs. Okay, so just kind of reaching maybe opposite direction. You can go both sides. Switch it up if you want to. But just tap one leg out. Okay, this one is probably easy to tap our toes. Otherwise, you have to kind of squat down a little bit almost to get a heel to touch the ground. Okay, just a little bit more difficult. Okay, once again, adjust the pace as you see fit. Goal once again is just to be slightly out of breath. You should still be able to talk, but you take a breath after like a short sentence. Okay, that's what we mean by moderate intensity. Okay, going backwards, this time both arms forward. You just toe tap again. Okay, front to back this time. See if you can get your squeeze your butt muscles a little bit. Okay, but think of reaching a little further back. Okay, extending through the hips. Okay, not our backs. Okay, still keeping our pace up. Okay, if you feel move around, doesn't have to march on the same spot. The idea is just to keep moving in some ways. Okay, next one, we'll reach across the body. Okay, kind of reaching inwards. Okay, same thing with the leg, just in the back. Okay, so you're doing something like that. Okay, so you don't have to reach too far back. You can just have one leg slightly behind the other. That's okay. If you want to, then exaggerate movements a little bit more. Okay, arm and leg is going in the same direction. So I'm reaching to my left and then my right. Okay, once again, you can be just a slight tap behind. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable crossing your legs. Still trying to keep that moderate pace going. Okay, I'm still slowly speeding up. So it's been 5 minutes. Because hopefully we're close to that moderate pace. Okay, so let's do 2 directions. Okay, so we're going to go maybe one leg, just one leg. Maybe every 15 seconds, we're going to switch. We're going to tap forward, tap back. Okay, using one leg. Arms can be doing whatever it needs to do. Okay, so I'm just tapping forward and backwards. Okay, standing on one leg. Okay, so let's try 15 seconds with one foot. Okay, probably feel a little tight in the opposite hip. Okay, and then after 15 seconds, maybe just switch to the other side. Okay, just tapping forward and back. Okay, and hands, once again, just whatever you need to do to stay balanced. Okay, and back to the march or an active rest. Feel free to slow down or speed up. Okay, a little harder, side to side. So you're going to be reaching out, okay, and either reaching backwards or reaching forward. Okay, but you're just going to be kind of reaching in and out with that one leg. Okay, once again, every 15 seconds, let's switch legs. Okay, so we'll be tapping out, in, in. Okay, so probably easy to do either the front or the back. A little bit more complicated to switch. I need to think a little bit as well to go backwards. Okay, and switch. Yeah, so front is much easier. Back is a little bit more awkward. Still can be done. Okay, back to the marching. Okay, once again, use this. Think of this as an active break, so just keep moving in some ways. You can go slower, you can go faster as well. Okay, so let's bring our knees a little higher this time. Okay, reaching upwards of the hands and reaching upwards of our knees. Okay, so you can even exaggerate the motion a little bit if you want to. Okay, just run one knee up, one hand up. Okay, how high is completely up to you. Okay, just higher relative to what you were doing before in your regular marching. Hands, once again, doesn't have to be all the way up. Could be just a little bit higher than forehead. Okay, and back to the marching again. Okay, so next one, let's go upwards, reach out to the side, kicking out one leg. Okay, so you exaggerated, kind of reaching up and across. Okay, once again, shoulders, elbows doesn't have to be too high. Okay, just relatively speaking, a little bit more than before. Okay, so moderate range, moderate speed. Okay, so kind of kicking out, maybe rotating your body, so you're turning. So you almost imagine reaching over to one side. Okay, your pelvis, your belly button might be pointing in the same direction. Same with your toes as well. Okay, your shoulders tight, or if it's painful to reach too high, maybe just forward elbow, completely fine. Or you can reach a little bit higher up. Okay, and last round of this set, we're still going to be reaching outwards, but this time let's kick the leg out a little bit high up. So try to kick someone behind you, lifting the heel slightly high up, hands kind of going diagonally forward in the opposite direction. So you're making yourself longer from your heel to your fingertips. Okay, so just a little bit high up. Okay, once again, move for the hips, not from the back. Okay, so you should feel your butt muscles squeezing to get your hips back. Okay, and not kind of arching your back. Okay, shoulders, once again, don't have to go too high up. The goal is just to move more muscles to get a heart rate a little bit faster. Okay, so good job, everyone. That was our 10-minute set. So let's keep moving while just waiting for heart rate to come back down a little bit. Okay, just move your feet in some ways, just help pump the blood back to our heart. Okay, so even if you start to sit down or stop, see if you can still at least shift your weight around a little bit, pump your heels a little bit. Okay, so let's check the time. Right now it's 9:59. Okay, let's come back at 10 if you want to join us for the second set. Okay, so still keep moving. If you're a little bit out of breath, okay, drink some enough water. Okay, and see everyone in about 2 minutes. Okay, so we still will be using the towel for the second set. Okay, so if you don't have one of a towel, that's okay. You can still follow along. Okay, and once again, just slowly bring yourself back up to speed. And just wrap both ends the towel. First minute or so, still just slowly bring your heart rate back up. Okay, slowly speeding up. Okay, but listen to your body. Okay, so first one, we actually make the towel, we grab the towel a little bit shorter. Okay, so maybe you just arm width apart. You can make it thicker if you want to. Okay, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what we call a halo. So you're gonna just kind of almost try to get the towel to go behind your head. It's a little easier if you're holding something a little bit shorter. So maybe I'm gonna grab it a little, make it a little bit shorter. Okay, but I'm just trying to put the towel almost behind my head and then coming back out. Okay, so still kind of warming up our shoulders a little bit. Still could be a little bit tiring for the shoulders. Okay, and slowly speeding up again. Okay, let's still flick the towel behind the head, behind the back. So just to move our shoulders a little bit more. Okay, still take it gentle because we're moving a little bit faster. Just come behind and once again, elbows start off, maybe shoulder height. When you feel more comfortable, see if you can get your elbows to point more up towards the ceiling. Okay, so tricep, back up arm might get a little tight, shoulders might get a little tight. Oops. Make sure. Okay, there we go. I'm just catching my foot. Okay, let's go side to side a little bit next. Okay, actually, let's just do a rotation. So let's just rotate the towel in front of us. Okay, and after 15 seconds, we're gonna switch direction. Okay, so you can either keep your feet moving. Okay, you can also stop your feet as well. You can just change direction. Okay, whenever you want to. Okay, it's actually probably more comfortable if you, less awkward if you stop your feet. Okay, but I'm still maybe gonna just sway side to side a little bit. Okay, so we might have to get our heart rate back up a little bit because we just started moving our feet. Okay, so next one, a little bit more exaggerated. So we're still going to be circling. Okay, but this time we're going to circle behind our head, come back out, circle behind us, and come back out. Okay, so it's kind of like halo, but a little bit more, maybe slightly more exaggerated, maybe slightly faster. Okay, so we're going around. So I might need to take a little bit of figuring out. Okay, but you can think of, actually, you know what? It's easier if you just think of throwing it on top of us, so like a helicopter. Okay, feel free to switch direction. Okay, it requires a little bit more shoulder mobility. Okay, so we're still working on being open up through the shoulders. Okay, and Make sure your shoulders, when it doesn't need to be tense, see if you can relax it in between. Okay, so next one, since the shoulders might get a little tight, let's really exert the hip movement. Okay, so think of your arms as kind of wet noodles. They only hang on to the towel. Okay, and you just kind of see if you can launch the towel with just your hips. Okay, so your arms completely kind of limp almost, except that you're still gripping onto the towel. Okay, and as you are about to hit yourself in the groin, see if you can move your hips out of the way. Okay, and then stand back up. Be relatively quickly, and the towel should kind of just get launched up by your hips. So this is the kind of more what we call like a swing, okay, which is kind of like an aerobic version of using your hips. Okay, so the stuff you see on the side, sometimes I might hold on to a weight and kind of just launch it up with my hips. Okay, so it's a hip-based kind of aerobic exercise, you can call it. Okay, let's do the exact same thing, but this time, see if you can launch a little higher. Okay, use your arms to help. Get it behind us. Okay, so stand up a little bit more quickly. Squeeze your hips so the towel kind of flies overhead. Okay, see if you can still maybe use a little bit less force in your shoulders. Okay, so use your hips, use your legs. Think of almost jumping up. And the towel should kind of fly up by itself. Okay, without needing to use too much of our arms. Okay, and still adjust your active rest. So if your heart rate is still back down, maybe get it back up a little bit. Or slow down if you feel a little out of breath. Okay, let's do one side, one arm at a time. Okay, so let's kind of reach across, okay, and then swing overhead. So a little bit wider for the arm, for the legs. You're just going to swing across, like imagine trying to hit something in the ground, or sweep the floor, and then coming back out. Okay, turn your pelvis down. Okay, so don't overstretch the spine. Anytime we're doing something faster or repetitive, move your hips a little more, less twisting through the spine. Okay, but imagine you're trying to sweep something on the floor and then sweep it the other direction using our feet and your hips. Okay, so spine, your chest and your front of your pelvis faces the same way. Okay, so if I twist my back, then my front of the chest is facing that way, my pelvis is facing that way, and I'm twisting my spine. Okay, so when we're moving faster, I'm moving a weight, see if we can limit that, just a little bit safer for the spine. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, feet a little wider. Once again, sweep the floor, toes point in the same direction, coming back, faces the other direction. Okay, maybe less, kind of more awkward with my left arm. Okay, but still kind of a little bit of brain training. Okay, just doing something we're not quite used to doing. Okay, if it makes you feel dizzy, keep looking forward. Okay, and last minute. Okay, next one, we're just going to be almost just doing a cross in front. Okay, you can turn your pelvis side to side if you want to. You can stop your feet. Probably more feels more natural that way. Okay, but just draw an X with your towel. Okay, so I'm going to stop my feet. Okay, but I'm still rotating through my pelvis. Okay, maybe kind of change up which arm is on top. Okay, once again, may take a little bit more coordination. Okay, but don't just use your arms, use your pelvis to help as well. Okay, so that was our second set. Once again, just keep moving until you feel your heart rate is coming back down. Okay, so let's check the time. Right now it's about 10:11 or so. Let's come back around 10:13. Just around 2-minute break. Again, you don't have to do all 3 sets. Okay, just whatever you're not comfortable with. Okay, but if you're joining us, then see you everyone in about 2 minutes. Okay, so a little bit short on time, so let's go to our first set. Okay, maybe I'm feeling maybe slight fatigue. Okay, so maybe I'll slow down a little bit in my first set. The goal is still just to keep moving in some ways. Doesn't always have to be fast. Maybe slowly speeding up again. So I can feel my bottom, my feet's getting a little bit fatigued. So I'm going, just trying to be more flat-footed this time. Kind of marching more through my heels a little bit. Okay, let's start off simpler. So let's march, but a little wider apart and then coming back in. So just marching a little wider. You can keep going like this if you want, or you can just kind of go between narrow and wider. Okay, still see what your shoulders are doing. So if it doesn't need to be too tense, then try to just relax a little bit more. Okay, you can still feel myself and be slightly fatigued, so I may choose not to speed up much more than this. Okay, but depend. Once again, listen to your body. Once in a while, if you feel good, feel free to push yourself a little more. Some days take a longer rest, or at least a slower pace. Okay, next one, similar, but this time bigger motion through the march. Okay, so still marching wider, okay, and maybe more narrow, okay, but lifting our knees a little bit higher up. You probably have to go a little bit slower, okay, because we're going through a bigger range of motion. Okay, you might feel your body shifting side to side. Just a more exaggerated march. Okay, and even just a changing temperature, pretty hot this couple of days. Your body might not be used to moving this much in this temperature. Usually takes us probably 1 or 2 weeks for our body to really readjust to a different temperature. Okay, let's keep it simple. Let's move it front to back up a little bit. Okay, I'm moving marching to the side because I can hear I've been stepping on that spot for so much, I can hear it creaking. So I'm going to be stepping just a little bit off to the side. Okay, so once again, it doesn't have to be fast all the time. If you can just get a heart rate just a little bit higher up, that's good for the body. Still just aiming for about 20 to 30 minutes a day, or about kind of at least 115 minutes each week. Okay, so other than this class, make sure to still maybe go walk, or maybe review these classes on YouTube or something like that, okay, or just do it on your own. Okay, but let's try just marching a little bit off side to side. Okay, take this as slowly as you need to. Okay, so next one, let's just still do the side to side, but this time exaggerate the motion a little bit, so probably go a little bit slower. Okay, imagine you just step over something in your way. Okay, you just step both feet over, okay, on each step. Okay, and just kind of repeat. Okay, take this as slowly as you need to for safety. Okay, so stepping over a boulder or like a giant curb. Okay, once again, as slowly as you need to for safety. Okay, but try to get our knees maybe a little bit high up. And both on both steps. And not too much. Trying to keep my shoulders from tensing too much. Okay, so let's do a combination of stepping over and a little bit of a turn. Okay, so you can imagine you're trying to step over something and turn a little bit to the side and take a step back and get back into. Okay, so you can even do both steps if you want. Okay, but a little bit of a turn. Okay, so you're stepping over. So imagine there's a big ditch or something like that. You can't really step over it front to back so much easily. So you do a little bit of a turn. Maybe step back a little bit. Okay, so once again, as slowly as you need to. Okay, last 3 minutes or so. Okay, next one, maybe just practicing a reaction a little bit. So remember the Michael Jackson that we're doing? Okay, but this time, let's just try to almost lean for a little bit and then try to catch a step as we fall for a little bit. Okay, so take this very gentle, so maybe just a little bit of lean in the beginning, okay, and then go forward. Okay, or you can do the same thing backwards, a little bit scary feeling, okay, but see if you can lean forward and then try to move your feet a little more quickly to catch yourself. Okay, so imagine you have to, you trip on something slightly, okay, and then you have to catch yourselves in front. Okay, once again, just take this gently. Okay, sometimes speed is important. We don't only get weaker with age, we get slower with age as well. Reaction also slows down. Okay, same idea, a little bit to the side. This one, take it very gentle. So you can just maybe this one, don't move your feet. You can just lean, okay, and try to catch yourself a little bit. Okay, so take it very gentle. Okay, just a quick step. So imagine just a slight lean, okay, and then a quick step out to the side. If you're feeling adventurous, you can go a little bit more lean. So you really have to catch yourself quickly with that feet or that foot. Okay, but just take it very gentle at the beginning. Slight lean, okay, and then a quick step out. Okay, so just being able to move our feet quickly as well, being able to catch ourselves. Okay, last one, let's just practice our cross steps. Okay, this one, take it very slow. Use chairs or wall to help you. Okay, but you're gonna be crossing one leg in front, one leg in the back. Okay, so just being able to move laterally to the side while our legs might be a little bit mixed up. Okay, sometimes that can happen. So just be comfortable with being able to move, okay, while our legs might be slightly crossed up. Okay, so take this as slowly as you need to. Okay, if you feel comfortable, you can do more of a quicker step. You might have to counterbalance with your arms a little bit. Okay, but good job, everyone. That was our last set. So we just have a slight amount of time for stretching, but if you already know that these two stretches already. Okay, anytime we're marching a lot, stepping a lot, we're using a lot of the calves, okay, more the hips. Okay, so let's stretch it out a little bit. Okay, so the calf first, the lower leg. Okay, just anything that can get your toes high up. Then you heel, okay, and then shift your weight forward until you feel a stretch behind your lower leg. Okay, if you still out your breath, maybe this time you can do a very slow back and forth. So don't jerk or anything like that. Okay, but just a slow, we do a slow back and forth this time if you want to keep moving a little bit because your heart rate is still a little bit fast. Okay, if you tend to cramp up in the evening in your lower leg and your foot, maybe try this a little bit more often. And definitely, if you after you cramp up, probably want to stretch it back out a little bit. You probably spend a lot more time doing stretches, but because we're low on time today, let's just kind of move along. Do this side because I'm worse on this side. But it's just the same stretch in the front of the hips. Okay, sucker stepping in. Try to get your back leg a little straighter. Get deep breath in and out. Okay, and just switch whenever you are ready. Okay, so try to breathe more into your belly area. Okay, so take a big breath in, you might feel more of a stretch. Okay, and try to loosen up a little bit. Okay, maybe one or last one. Just look down towards the floor, one towards one of your foot. Okay, maybe use your free hand to help just a little bit. Okay, you can feel free to sit down and do it. Okay, but if you do, still keep your chest a little bit taller. Okay, so definitely out of time. So thank you for coming, everyone. Hope everyone have a good day and see everyone next time. No problem. Bye bye.